Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today I'll talk about my final update for the Kinetic Fusillade Ballista Paladin. Now, this build was an absolute banger from start to finish. I did, since the last update, improve a few things. I did have all the bosses down a few days ago, but now I'm basically just farming for next build, but I'm having so much goddamn fun. I also love idols. I'm going to talk a little bit about the setup I'm currently running, and also about the last upgrades that I did, which was actually quite plenty. I did get another 30 divines or so into the build, just because I knew I would play another day. The build's just really, really fun. With that said though, as always, once you get into 16.5s and tier 17s, you will notice the totems dying a lot more, and at some point the playstyle that was what granted you easy league start becomes a liability. So obviously that is always in play. It's the dynamic that we have every single league, which is why I love totems as a league starter, but at some point it goes downhill. All right, so I stopped at level 98. Like I said, in order to get there, you need capped block and spell block at 65% with versatile combatant. You want 100% spell suppress, you want decent life, and you definitely want a really good exhaust craft. And obviously capped chaos res as well. Do not forget about that. Now, what did I change to make the build a little bit more efficient? So the first thing is I had a lot of jewelry and also the belt that was trash because I needed all that chaos res. So I got a light of meaning with chaos res right here, which fixes that. If you look at my chaos res right now, it gives me a total of like 100% chaos res, which alleviates so much gear pressure. So that was the first stage. The second stage was strength. I alleviated strength with lethal pride. So you can put lethal pride in here. It doesn't really, like, keystone does not matter. All you're looking for is a few good mods. For example, intimidate on hits is the most important one. And then if you can get stuff like more strength or some res or chance to deal double damage, that's even better. Obviously, it is not a real league, so there's not as much out there, but you can definitely find a decent one. If you have to choose anything though, definitely just get Intimidate. It's 10% increased damage taken, which is around about 7% more damage or so. Now, this allowed me to free up a lot of things to get better rings. So first, I got accuracy on both rings. I'm even overcapped on accuracy, and the reasoning is that then I can run less accuracy map mods without too much trouble, and I was able to remove the Weathered Hunter, which also gave me a lot of res, which is not necessary anymore though. So yeah, just a lot of life, a lot of res, just better rings overall, some wed. Same goes for my boots. I got some chaos res here with move speed and spell suppression. With the spell suppression, I was able to remove some other points, and I was also able to remove Mage Bane, which means that I get my evasion back from the dexterity, which is quite nice, and I get a point back. I also went for a Stygian Vice. As you guys know, we use this one here for taunt. I got a better taunt jewel as well with life, a little bit of flat, and then taunt on top, 8%. And yeah, now I can put it in the Stygian Vice, freeing up another jewel slot on the tree. And talking about jewels, I got a cluster jewel. So cluster jewels are really powerful because they obviously give you 2 jewels, but also it makes blocking cap a lot easier with Prodigious Defense. You get Martial Prowess, which helps with percentage accuracy, which we don't have anywhere now that we removed this. We have a lot of flat, but no percentage, so that's very strong. And then also Veteran Defender to kind of fix everything else. The Veteran Defender back here is not important, but these two are quite strong. Buy a setup where these two are in front, and if there's a bad one in the back, then just put those 2 points somewhere else, or maybe you're not level 98 anyways. So in order to make that work, I dropped Sentinel and all the left side here. You can still see the old tattoos over there. And I dropped the accuracy wheel, and I put the accuracy wheel right here. Once again, this is not really necessary, but I do really like the fact that I can run less accuracy maps. So there's that, especially in 16.5, so that's quite nice. And it is in the radius of my light of meaning, so it also gives me chaos res. So this is my current POB, around about 13 mil. This is without tornado or anything calculated in. The defense is without the exhaust craft. Obviously, with the exhaust craft, it looks a lot better. In general, I feel pretty damn safe, even in 16.5s, so there's that. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the POB calc of this attack rate. So I told you guys before the league that you should be looking at POB, but there is some stuff going on where it still works in game, but it tells me it doesn't. And technically, it should overfire and break the build, but it still looks like it works. So I'm not 100% sure. It says down here that the DPS is reduced by 5.3%. Maybe I just don't see it. Maybe that is the case, or maybe it isn't. People have told me to use the Nemrod calculator, which I'll link down below in the description, to kind of calc that. And if that's true, that's true. I would kind of just go off of feel. Right now, I'm not 100% sure. I talked to people who know more about it, and they were also not sure. So That's all I have to say right now. It doesn't necessarily mean that your build is bricked when you're over the attack rate. Apparently I had wrong info there, or maybe POB is slightly off. Somebody in my chat told me that it has to do with POB taking into account the tick rate, the server tick rate, whereas the game does not for Kinetic Fusillade. So yeah, take that as you will, and I'm sure I'll find out more before next league and actually know what the hell is going on here. Now, I still had one more duel slot open, which I just filled with life, crit multi, and a little bit of extra attack block, because I was still in need of 2 more to cap my spell block. So there you go. And at the end, that also made it so I could use, replace my chest implicit. So you can see right here where I had block before, I now have Fizz taken as chaos. It doesn't really matter which one you get, chaos, fire, lightning, whatever. But it does help out quite a bit because Fizz max hit is obviously one of our weaknesses. And that is about where I'll leave the build. You can definitely get corruptions on your uniques. There's definitely a lot of things like getting a better amulet and then replacing one of your rings for the time clasp or whatever it's called. Sure, I'm gonna test all of that before the actual league, but right now I'm very happy with this package and I'm very happy with what I could find out about the build. And yeah, let's quickly go over what I've done on my idols. So I'm not gonna make this too long. I might actually make a video about this, we'll see. But chance for maps to be found in your map to have memory influence. This is a new modifier that wasn't there in Phrecia 1, and I just wanted to try it out, how well it works. And it works like a charm so far. So what this means is that your tier 16s have a higher chance to drop as 16.5s. This is not a flat chance, so getting 100% just means that you're twice as likely. It doesn't mean that you always get 16.5s, of course. But I'm stacking that with Exile chance and then shrines. I get shrines wherever I can. And on top of that, I'm getting the shrines in your maps are guarded by at least 1 magic pack, which is very good for map drops, obviously. And yeah, after that, just shrines, as much explicit map effect as I can possibly get. And the maps that I'm running all have 100% more maps. I'm running 16.5s, pretty hard 16.5s. You're gonna die. It is what it is. At this gear level, the only way to not die would be like a headhunter, obviously. So more maps, 100%. That's what you need at least. You can also have 150 if you get lucky. Currently, I'm also running the chance to get an additional pack of monsters in your shrines, which I think works really well. I'm also going for 1x1s with chance to become 1 tier higher. So yeah, it's still kind of in the making, but I'm making really good money per hour right now. And I just pulled 3 fortresses. Fortresses right now are pretty damn expensive. Let me check how expensive exactly. Yesterday I sold them for like 50C. Yeah, and they're still like 47 chaos each. So yeah, we're kind of printing like candy. These normal originator memories are pretty bad. If you hit a dunes, which is 50% of the time, then you can sell them for like 20C or so. Problem right now is also that the, I hope this has been fixed, I'm gonna try again today, that the Cyrus fight is bugged and you cannot witness it for the feared, so I'm still missing this spot as well. Also, good news for everybody, they did reduce the dust cost of the recombination by 75%, so that was just in the patch notes right now. So pretty huge. Either way though, I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what I'm going to play next. Maybe make a guide about idols, we'll see. But either way, I'm going to be testing this one for sure for patch 3.28 as well. Yeah, so look out for that. Either way though, since I still have a slogan, see you next time.